I dropped $20K on my stepdaughter's graduation bash, only to hear, "You're not my real mom." So I let her actual mother foot the bill for college. My name is Megan, 45, and I run a cozy bakery in Philadelphia. It's my baby, built from scratch with sleepless nights and endless hustle. The place is small but buzzing, a warm corner where locals feel at home. 8 years ago, I hired Eric to renovate when I decided to expand. He was the contractor who showed up with easy charm, tall, dark-haired, and that disarming smile. During breaks, he'd lean against the counter, sipping coffee, spinning tales of his life. He painted himself as a devoted single dad to Sophie, then 10, raising her alone after his ex, Tanya, lost custody due to her reckless ways. Eric was the hero in his story, and I bought every word. What a stand-up guy, I thought. Within a year, we were married. Eric talked about building a real family with Sophie, and I wanted to give them the stability I never had growing up. Sophie was quiet but sweet at first. They moved into my bigger house, closer to better schools. Early days were idyllic, family dinners, board games, weekend outings. Sophie seemed to warm to me. Eric was attentive, helping out, promising a future together. But cracks appeared sooner than I admitted. 5 years in, Eric quit contracting, claiming a toxic workplace. I was sympathetic. Nobody should dread their job. He said he needed time to pivot, and I didn't push. Sophie, meanwhile, thrived at her new school, making friends, joining clubs, eyeing colleges. One day, she mentioned needing an $18 calculator for advanced math. I hesitated, but before I could respond, Eric, sprawled on the couch scrolling his phone, chimed in. "Just get it, Megan, it's for school." I snapped. "I've been paying for everything, and you're telling me how to spend my money." I should have drawn a line then, but I wanted harmony. Families support each other, I told myself. So I bought the calculator and swallowed my frustration. Eric loved dreaming big about our future but did little to build it. He'd sip coffee, talking up his plan to launch a business. "You'll see, Megan, I'll ease your load." It sounded promising, but there was no action, no plan, no hustle. I tried to be patient. Everyone hits rough patches. But his rough patch became a lifestyle. Months in, I'd come home from 10-hour bakery shifts to find him lounging in sweatpants, binge-watching cop shows, dishes piled high, trash overflowing. "Eric, any job applications today?" I'd ask, masking my irritation. "Not yet," he'd say, eyes glued to the TV. "Working on my freelancing portfolio." His grand plan, a home improvement consulting gig. He had the skills, sure, but no website, no cards, no clients. I offered to set up an Instagram to showcase his work. He brushed it off. "I'll get to it. Social media's not my thing." It's 2024, Eric. Meanwhile, I covered the mortgage, utilities, groceries, Sophie's school fees, everything. Eric's hobbies didn't help. He took up woodworking for stress, so I bought him pricey tools that gathered dust in the garage. One day, I found a $350 saw in the living room. "What's this?" I asked, waving the receipt. "For a custom coffee table," he said, barely glancing up. "We had a table. It never got built." Sophie picked up her dad's entitlement. She stopped asking for things and started expecting them. "Megan, I need this $230 jacket for the senior trip," she'd say, shoving her laptop at me. "It's mandatory," I balked, but Eric from the couch said, "It's not a big deal." I caved again. Sophie became my personal ATM. Field trip, iPhone, ask Megan. She rarely thanked me. I overheard her on the phone. "My stepmom's loaded. She doesn't care what things cost." I stood there, stunned. That's what she thought. Eric's comments stung too. If I complained about long hours, he'd say, "At least you're making bank." If I mentioned bills, "You're doing fine, Megan." Why stress? Because I was bankrolling 3 people, Eric. One night, I tried to talk. "Eric, I'm happy to help, but this can't go on. We're a team." He looked at me like I'd asked him to climb Everest. "I contribute," he said. "I handle Sophie, help around the house." "Sophie's 19, not a toddler," I said. "Chores aren't rent." He sighed, annoyed. "I just need time, you've got the bakery." That's when I saw it. I wasn't his partner, just his paycheck. I gave him a deadline, a plan by month's end. He nodded, but nothing changed. I felt trapped, pouring my life into a family that didn't value me. My bakery, my joy, was becoming a means to an end. I kept hoping it was a phase. Eric would step up, Sophie would mature. I wanted the family so badly I ignored the truth. Sophie's 19th birthday was my desperate attempt to keep the peace. She'd been dropping hints about a blowout bash. "Megan, can we use the bakery? It's so chic." I hesitated, closing the shop wasn't cheap. Eric jumped in. "It's her big day. Make it special." I agreed, telling myself it was for Sophie. Big mistake. I went all out. Closed the bakery, hired a band, ordered gold-dusted cupcakes, let Sophie pick a $480 balloon arch. She was thrilled, saying her friends would lose it. I asked for a guest list, she dodged. "Just a few friends." The night of the bakery looked magical. Sophie arrived in a designer outfit I'd bought, glowing like a queen. Her friends poured in, not just classmates but strangers. It was chaos, kids running, music blaring. Then Tanya walked in. I knew her instantly, loud, entitled, lipstick smudged in a tacky dress. She hugged Sophie, shouting, "My baby." Sophie had invited her. I hadn't. I asked Eric. "You knew." He shrugged. "Sophie wanted her mom here. No big deal." No big deal. The woman who hadn't been sober for a kids' event in years was in my bakery. Tanya made herself the star, hugging Sophie, charming her friends, bragging about old parties. Then she approached our table and snapped, "This is my spot." "Move," I stared, dumbfounded. "There's plenty of chairs," I said, her face twisted. "You think you can replace me? Money doesn't buy love." She grabbed a plate and smashed it. Silence. "Get out," I said, shaking. She laughed. "You're nothing, Megan." Security escorted her out as she screamed. Sophie looked mortified. Eric said nothing. The party soured. Guests whispered, left early. Sophie barely spoke to me. At home, I tried. "Sophie, I'm sorry about tonight." She cut me off. "You made it worse by not letting her sit with us." I looked to Eric. "Tomorrow," he mumbled. After that mess, you'd think Eric would try. Nope. He kept lounging, entitled as ever. I was drained mentally, emotionally, financially. Eric briefly helped with chores, then whined. "This is hard," he said, dumping laundry on the couch. "I don't know how you do it and run a business." I stared. "I've been doing both for years, Eric." He shrugged. "You're used to it." Sophie, meanwhile, was her dad's apprentice. She demanded a full-room makeover, new bed, dresser, everything. "I've outgrown my stuff," she said. I refused. "You don't care because I'm not your kid," she shot back. Eric stayed silent. I confronted Eric. "Get a job, anything, this isn't fair." He called me selfish. "You don't get my dreams." I laughed. "I work all day while you do nothing." "That's not fair." He shook his head. "You're all about money." That was it. He didn't see me as a person, just a bank. Sophie's graduation was the final straw. I was too worn to fight. She came home ecstatic about a school award. "I'm going on stage," she said, texting. I asked what it was for. She didn't know. She wanted a massive grad party, 40, maybe 55 guests, backyard tent, tables. I balked. "Eric, she graduates once." I caved. Her demands piled up. New dress, shoes, hair, makeup, custom cake. I spent $300. No one offered to chip in. "Graduation morning," she said. "Bring flowers. It'll look weird if I don't have any." Not a request, an order. I bought them. At the ceremony, Eric handed her the flowers, saying, "Your stepmom got these." Sophie mumbled, "Thanks, I guess." The party was my breaking point. I spent all day setting up tables, decor, food. Sophie partied like a star. Eric hid inside. An hour in, Sophie said, "Mom's coming to congratulate me." I froze. "After her birthday stunt, no," I said. Sophie rolled her eyes. "It was your fault." I went to Eric. He shrugged. "It's her day." I stood firm. "Tanya's not coming." Sophie exploded, loud enough for all. "You're not my mom, you're nobody." The yard went silent. "I paid for this party," I said, voice breaking. "I've supported you while your dad does nothing. Respect me or leave." Sophie stormed out with her friends. The party died. Eric blamed me. "You didn't have to escalate." He walked away, leaving me to clean up. Weeks later, Sophie got into NYU. She burst in, waving the letter. "Megan, when do we talk tuition?" I was stunned. "NYU's expensive. Scholarships," she scoffed. "You'll cover it, you have the money." Eric nodded. They'd planned this, assuming I'd pay. "I'm proud of you," I said, "but I'm not bankrolling this. Get a job, more aid." Sophie fumed. "A job, I need to focus." "Eric, she's just a kid." "She's 19, I said. "You think I'm an ATM?" Sophie muttered. "Life's not fair." "Exactly," I said. "Figure it out." The house was a war zone. Sophie ignored me. Eric sulked. He cornered me. "You're selfish, it's her future." "I'm realistic," I said. "She's your stepdaughter." Only when it suits you, I shot back. I'm done. Sophie tried guilt. I'm sorry, but it's unfair you won't help. You said you wanted me to have a better future. I sighed. I do, but you need to take responsibility. Nobody's bailing you out forever. She fake cried, but I was done. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.